because guess what? It's just Casey and I fucking letting it out today. You know what I mean? Just talking and letting you in our space a little bit today. You know what I mean?
Hootie
And
hoo.
Casey's ready to talk. I can
What's
tell, man. I can tell. I can feel it.
what's up? Listen, there's a lot of stuff we need to talk about
A
today,
lot of
buddy.
stuff we need to talk about.
Sir.
And we got plenty of talking to do. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's what we're here for. We're here for the people.
We're here for the people.
We're just here. I'll start it off. We're getting us since we released the podcast. Some people don't know really what happened to us, which that might have been a little bit on us to we just wanted to dive right in and start like talking to people and stories out, but we didn't even get our stories out for the people who don't know. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go, Mr. Tony Chamberlain.
We're gonna try to go back, and it's funny because our anniversary is coming up. My 5 years next week, and your 10 years coming up in June.
It's a couple weeks. I know.
It's kind of crazy, and this is kind of like a full kind of full circle moment. Yeah, exactly. So it's nice to be able.
Not like not a triangle.
Not a circle. A circle.
But yeah. So Tone, a little bit about yourself prior to said D-Day, and then
a little bit.
Give us a little
bit of the tea. Is that what you're saying? A little bit.
A little. Oh, this is, I see what you did.
You like that, huh?
I said I am a fan.
Yep, yes. So I could speak upon myself the best I can, but I think other people do it better than I can. I would say before my accident, I was a very I would say athletic person. I was always into sports, always busy, constantly like working and trying to build a life just like any normal person, you know what I mean, trying to stay ahead of life. And I think that thing was going really well. And then that one sweet night happened where everything changed, and it's just like it's so funny because I was actually just thinking about this the other day. I was kind of go back in my brain and I was kind of refreshing like what actually happened in that moment. And I'd like to tell a little story so we can kind of work up until like see you can kind of maybe see it through my eyes, I guess you can say. Okay, so it was a nice warm spring night. I remember it just like it was yesterday. I was going to a cheer gym just to kind of like play around. We weren't practicing or anything. The season was already over. We were just going to like, kind of like play around and like do stunts and like do whatever, just what we normally do as cheerleaders, you know what I mean? And after the night was through, just like always, I was always the first one in, last one out. So that's always my mentality to all kind of sports. And I waited for everybody to kind of like, settle and get ready to go, because we after like doing stuff, we usually have downtime and talk just like me and you do, like right here, you know what I mean? And we talked a little bit, and everybody finally left, and I was actually riding my motorcycle that night. Usually I go down in my car, but I was with my motorcycle because it was a beautiful night. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna head down there. And I don't like to really ride too much at night, but it was, like I said, it was beautiful, and I had to get out there. So it was a nice spring night. And so everything was coming down to the end, and I was closing up the gym, doing my normal thing, getting on my bike. This time I actually didn't wear my jacket because it was a warm night, but I did wear my helmet, you know what I mean? So that was a good thing. What happened was I got on my bike, and I didn't know the area too well because the gym that I went to was new to the area. So what I ended up doing was I was driving down this road. It was kind of dark because there wasn't much lighting there, and turn that wasn't familiar to me, and my reaction wasn't as quick as I would have hoped it would have been. So I kind of just reacted, scarcely, and I kind of like jammed on my brakes and tried hopefully to stop my bike before I hit a curb, because the curb came up me really fast. So what happened was I just remember jamming my brakes, and then right then and there, like I don't know what happened. I don't even remember hitting the curb. I just blacked out. My body just blacked out, and boom, man. Like I'm assuming I went flying, because I woke up and I'm just looking up at the stars, and I'm just like, oh, what the hell just happened? Like, and I don't even know how much time went by. I didn't look at my phone or anything. I just woke up and I was just like, oh, I guess everything's good, because I didn't feel any pain, nothing. I was like, wow, I'm very surprised. I guess my body just shut off. That's what I'm thinking to myself. And I was like, yeah, I know why my body shut off, because I ended up breaking my spine. I had a complete cut of the spine. And I didn't know what was going on at the time, because like I said, I'd never felt that before in my life, so I didn't know what was going on. So I did try to get up, and when I was trying to get up, I realized that my legs weren't working and nothing was moving besides my upper body. So I knew something was wrong. So thank God that we had my cell phone next to me, because I was told that if I didn't have my cell phone, I probably would have died that night because I had like internal bleeding and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, and it's funny because the guys that came called 911, they came right away. It took them about, I would say like 10, 15 minutes. They came around. I heard the sirens and everything. And the guys that picked me up, they were like surprised at how like calm I was because of like the severity, I guess, of the
Yeah.
accident. And I'm just like me, like I'm just like, hey, how's everything going?
Easy,
Yeah, like,
easy
all right.
going with the
Yeah, I'm like, all
flow.
right, guys,
Yeah,
like, how long do you think it's gonna be before we get to the hospital and like, I can get out of
yeah,
there and stuff? And he's like, yeah. He goes, he kept trying to calm me down. Like, and I understand when you're in a situation like that, you don't know what's going on, and they kind of know the gist of it because they're medical, like they go through this almost all the time. And he's just talking to me. He's like, dude, you sure you're good? He's like, you seem like,
yeah,
and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm fine, man. He's like, all right, man, we're gonna get you to the hospital as quick as we can. I was like, all right, man, let's do this, man. I was like, whatever we're gonna do. And like I said, I'm just sitting there joking with the guy and everything, and I'm like rushed into the hospital, and then like they're speaking, they're like kind of like whispering to each other, and when people
yeah.
start whispering, something's bad, man.
It's like,
So
yeah,
I was just like,
don't whisper,
great. I
don't
was
whisper.
like, here we go. So the doc comes over to me and he explains everything that happened. He's like, listen, we took x-rays and blah, blah, blah. He goes, you have a really bad spine injury. And he goes, we have to send you to the operating room like right away. And I was like, oh, can I like call somebody or whatever? He's like, no, we got to get you like right in. And like, I don't even know how everybody found out it happened because it happened so quickly. Like I just went into the emergency room and then I went right to the OR. And next thing I know, I woke up with a freaking one of those things down my throat,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah, intubated.
freaking out because I was like, oh my
Yeah,
God, I don't know what's going on right now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then I come to find out my mother was there. Some friends of mine was there, and they're like, how you feeling? And I was like, I felt like, because literally like when you go out, you don't know how much time passes really. And I come to find out, I think it was like a 13-hour procedure, and I was just like,
Yeah,
holy crap. I was like, I was out for that long, and like it makes me
yeah,
think now. I was like, man, it's very surprising that like you don't know what happens in the moment, obviously, because you're just kind of under, and like you wake up and you're kind of in it feels different if something feels new, and it just felt weird to me. But I was just like, all right, this sucks. I didn't know something happened. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So like now what do I do? So obviously going down the path of like trying to figure out, all right, now I know I have a spinal injury. I'm probably not going to be able to walk again according to the doctors. But just like everyone says, you can't really take what the doctors say and go with it because there is always
yeah.
ways for people to do things. And I took it and I was like, yeah, I didn't like to myself. I was like, yeah, whatever, guy, whatever.
It's like
Yeah,
whatever, man, bro.
I'll walk again. I don't care what you say. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
Yeah, you don't know nothing. You're just like a doctor. You're just gonna tell me what
yeah,
your professional opinion is. But I'm gonna do my thing. And
yeah,
it was a struggle in the beginning part of like trying to figure out a life after an accident. Especially something like this where it alters your life completely and nothing's the
yeah.
same. So like,
So traumatic.
dude, it was. I tell you, man, the first 6 months, man, was so like mentally and physically and everything draining, man. Like I've never felt that down in my life. Like I've never felt that way. And fuck it, it just hurts to even think about like the time, all the stuff that I went through, and like the thoughts, and like the people that are around me, my family, my friends, like what they were thinking and everything. Because
Yeah,
obviously you're not the same person as you was before. I mean, you are, but you're not. I feel like just
no,
like all of us, we see life differently, I think, after something like this. And like
yeah,
that's definitely what happened. Like the first year really sucked of the accident, but like after that, you kind of realize, okay, this is my life now. It's time to man up and like let's go. Like either
yeah.
get busy living or get busy dying. That's you got to go with that quote, baby.
Did we just drop a little Shawshank?
Maybe just
Did
a
we
little
just
bit, man.
a little Shaw? Okay,
Uh,
okay. Love me some
Yeah,
Shawshank.
and these are things that go through my head all the time. I'm like, yeah, it's true, man. It's like either you're gonna want to live this life and just proceed and like try to make the best of it, or you're just gonna dwindle away and and be in depression your whole life, and that's not a fun thing to think about. So I decided to go the positive route, which is my personality anyway. So yeah, yeah, that's a little bit about my background story about the accident, and
Yeah.
look at we're here now doing a
No,
podcast.
you know what I'm saying? Just out here. Word.
Spread the love, you know what I mean?
Spread
And
the
I,
word.
just in case like somebody is listening to this that is like freshly injured, it does get better. Like it sucks completely in the beginning, but like once you like realize that this is your life now, like, and you start to like, it's just like a child. You learn you learn to walk again, but not really. It's like the same thing. It's like you learn a new
Yeah,
style of like living, and it gets better. You know what I mean? And like, and I just
yeah,
want to definitely put that out there for people that are freshly injured, because a lot of people don't know. They're scared of like what's going to
yeah.
happen, but it does get better.
You
Time
never know.
time does
Yeah,
make it better, and I am one of the people that can say that, and I'm sure you can say the same thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
you got that right.
All right. So, Case.
So,
Yeah.
so we'll go a little bit of me,
Yeah.
right? Let's get a little bit of Case, a little bit of the
All
sauce
right. I
here.
talked a little bit about me. Now it's your turn, my
All right.
friend. Let's hear some of the
So,
sauce.
prior to the accident, I was growing up was just sports in school. I was always active, riding bikes with my friends. Like I played sports all year round, so I didn't really have much free time. And the only free time I had, I'd hang out with my buddy, ride bikes all over the town, all over Long Island. Me and my best friends, we would ride. And then high school comes around, and then I hit my stride, and then I'm along thing, prom king, no big deal. Shout out Brentwood High School, prom
Prom
king,
king,
prom.
huh? Oh, I didn't know that
No
about you,
biggie,
bro.
no biggie. Yeah, it's
All
something.
right.
Bye. Went to college there, and I just like you, I was just getting my life like as an adult in order. Like I just got a new job. I just bought a car, and so I was at this new job. Let's go to Atlantic City that day. And we were like, nah, let's go to the beach. It's too hot. And we were like, oh, let's go to this beach. Nah, let's go to the other. And so many little minute decisions. Who knows what could have
Yeah,
happened?
it's the choices we
So
make
we
every
ended up.
day, right? That like,
Yeah,
you never
exactly.
know.
You never know. And then there's like maybe there's a parallel universe out there where town on these 2 feet. Who
Yeah,
knows?
exactly, right?
And then so it was me and my friend Dan. We're standing at the water. The water was freezing. Yeah, as you know, and I'm sure people know, the first beach day of the year, water's cold. The water. And then me and my buddy were just standing there. The water hits our feet, and we're like, oh, my head. I'm like, dummy. I was like, I'm going in regardless. I'm like, I'm at least gonna go in one. You go to the beach. You got to go in the water one time at least, right?
Exactly.
So I ran from the beach to go dive in, and then I don't know if like maybe a wave might have knocked me off balance, like dive, but it had to be a sandbar there because I hit my head. All of a sudden, I hit my head, and I hear like a crack, pain, no nothing. I didn't pass out. I just hit a crack, and I'm just like laying in the water, like face down. Wait a second. I thought it was just like maybe a stinger that I've got something like that playing sports. Like, I hit my head, things go numb for a second, get out, and then everything pops right back in. So then, I waited, and then I tried to move again, and I was like, oh shit, I'm like, where I am, because I didn't know water I was. I didn't know how far out. I didn't know if the lifeguards were paying attention. All
Were
those
you
kind of
like
things.
in the shoreline of like a beach or something?
Like,
So you were
like
just kind of
just
like
like,
going from the beginning shoreline to go into a
yep,
wave, and oh, okay,
yep.
because I'm picturing in my head like you were jumping off like a dock or something like that.
Yeah,
So
no, a lot of people think I was like cliff diving or doing something like that. I was like, no, I was just running force that
yeah, that
to what I did. So luckily, because I shattered my C4 shirt, like, where you are, water, shoreline crowd starts to form like a big circle, and everybody's like, oh, what's going
yep.
on? So I'm sitting there, and I just look at one of the guys, and I'm just like, yo, get me the fuck out of
Hmm.
here. Excuse my French. Like, I was just like, get me out of this place. So, head on and everything, the whole helmet, like with the blacked out eyes. Like, I felt like I was in a movie.
Hmm.
And, I remember looking, I was like, where are we going? Like, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And they just looked, they didn't say anything. So I was just like, in my head, now I think about it, I'm like, maybe no words were coming out of my mouth. I was like, I don't know, for a lot of drugs and a lot of, just to keep the pain tolerance down, I suppose. 8 hours for the surgeon to come.
Wow.
They called in this guy from the city. He comes in from the hospital, pea coats,
Jesus.
like you got a pea coat on. It's June 1st. It's hot as
So
June.
you're saying you were waiting 8 hours for him to get there? Were you like in any kind of pain or anything?
Well, no, I was just, they had me on a lot of morphine,
Oh, they
a lot
had you
of
drugged up and
stuff.
everything. Okay.
Yeah, so I was a little loopy. Like, it wasn't like no pain or nothing. It was just, they had to get the surgeon, and I guess they were waiting for the swelling to go down as well
Hmm.
to do the procedure. And my procedure was like, I think it was like 8 or 9 hours long, maybe a little longer, low on.
Yeah.
So I remember feeling like I had the C collar on, and I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, oh shit, I can't move nothing. And then all of a sudden, I was able to just like my right arm just like started flapping up, like I couldn't control it, like when I tried to move it. I thought I was good. So when people come to say hi to me, I was like, I thought I was giving them high fives. It was just kind of slapping.
Yeah, yeah.
And but that was just because of the swelling, because maybe like 2 days after that, paralyzed. I couldn't move a damn thing. And that was probably the worst.
Did like adrenaline shot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I woke up, I remember that's when I had the trach hold
Yep.
there. And so I couldn't communicate at all. So I couldn't talk, move. I couldn't express anything. So that was very scary, very difficult. And so I would communicate with clicks. Like when my family would come in, like my mom, my sister, my dad, to like
Hmm.
get people's attention, which was brutal. And I just remember there was, I was a social butterfly before my accident, so I had a lot of different friend groups. Like, just so like I don't want to say embarrassed, but I was just like I didn't want to be seen like that.
Hmm.
So like I only let a very very few, like very very close
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And yeah, that was like you said, that was probably the roughest part with the first few months. And then I was in the ICU for 45 days, a lot of complications because the higher you go up on the spinal cord, the more risk for other things are controlled, like my lungs collapsed twice. I had an ulcer that ruptured and I was throwing up blood for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah.
I was hallucinating. I thought I was in the hibachi restaurant.
Mhm.
I thought I was laying on the hibachi table. I was like, "Yo, Dad, get me out." I was like, "I don't want to die. Get me out of here."
Mhm.
But yeah, it was just those first few months, and that was probably the hardest time. Was the first like 6 months or so.
Mhm.
We all have our difficulties and stuff. Like I've had your difficulties. I had my like your struggles. Like I never try to compare. My pain is relative, and I feel like things are relative. Like
Mhm.
it all is what's to you is what you're going through. That's like,
Yeah.
just because it might have been different, but we still had those same emotion feelings.
Like even though that I was more physical with my upper body, there was still moments because
Yeah,
I'm so used to like we're so used to using our
it's
whole body.
exactly.
So like when I was going through like my PT and everything, I remember the last day of PT that I was taking in Spalding, and I was just about to come back to Rhode Island, and the PT person that was working with me was like, "Hey, listen, this is the last day that I have to spend with you, and we're gonna push you a little harder today." And like to me, I'm just like, all right, I'm ready for the challenge, dude. I was
Yeah,
not ready for the challenge. Down like a child, like I was crying. I was just like, this.
yeah,
Why is this happening to me? I can't believe I can't do this. I can't do that. And dude, I was
yeah,
just so like that day. I remember, man. I felt so broken. Like I was just like, wow,
yeah.
dude, this sucks. And like the emotion, like I said, the emotions that we go through, like on days like that, it's just like it's overwhelming, man. It's overwhelming. And like
It's a lot.
you talking about it just like brings it back, and it's just like, woof, I mean, it brings like chills to my body.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like I remember that, and it's just so crazy, like how far we've come from that moment. You know what I mean? So that's why I said that full circle. Yeah,
bananas.
it's crazy, dude. It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
like because like in the beginning, I felt like I wasn't myself anymore.
Hmm.
Thank God when I found Empower, thank God I found that program because I was like, I'm a happy guy. I'm a happy go lucky guy, joking all the time. Like, always trying to smile on my face. Like just when I found Empower, it brought me back. It brought me back to life, bro.
Yeah.
Like, literally, program, I don't know where I'd be because as a high level quad, I can't really do much for myself. Like physically, like, you see my hands. Like,
Hmm.
luckily, I got some adaptive equipment where I could feed myself water when I need it.
Hmm.
But like, it was like literally going from, man, 26 years old, just a whole world in front of me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, job was about to get a nice place. Like, it was things were starting to look up, and then all of a sudden, blink of an eye, it's basically like reverting back to a child, like where
Yeah.
I need assistance for literally. I'm on a nice little poop schedule. Like
Yeah.
my body knows when to go, when not to go. So
Hmm.
it's just like to do that and to go from that to that. It was just so like drastic. Like I'm sure you felt it was just like so fast, like where everything just
Oof.
your whole life could take it away from you
Yeah. Like
and
everything feels super
you
different.
have to adapt. Yeah, and you have to adapt and you have to accept like normal.
Yeah.
Like this is like honestly, like now I'm about to be 10 years in a couple weeks. Like I feel like I was born this way. Like I know I wasn't
Hmm.
because I know I have my memories and I have my pictures and videos and all this kind of
Hmm.
stuff. But like if like say somebody kidnaps me and they start trying to torture me, like I won't remember. Like I never did. I used to
Yeah.
walk. Nah, chill. Not me. Not me. This is me. This chair is me.
Yeah, it's because you
But
come into your own and you learn how to live with what you have, and it's just like I
yeah,
said, it's just like everything else. Like when you're first trying or doing something new, it takes time to like become good at it, just like anything
yeah,
in life. And like this took time to feel normal, like you know what I mean, like
yeah,
to feel like this is my everyday normal life now. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't just happen overnight, man. And that's for sure. Like a lot of people always ask that too. Like, do you feel like any different now that you're in a chair? Yeah, of course I feel different, but like at the same time,
yeah,
I'm good with it now. I'm like, hey,
yeah,
I'm in a chair, but this is my life, and this is how I'm gonna live it. You know what I mean? That's one thing that a lot of people don't realize too, is because like the people that knew you before your accident, they know you as the
yeah,
able-bodied person, and they look at you and
yeah.
they like I feel like when I'm looked at from friends of mine, I feel like they look at me and they say, oh man, he's broken, like or something like that. Like I don't know what to
Or they
do.
feel
You know what I mean?
guilty, like
Yeah.
pity. Like I don't want
Yeah,
anybody's
I
pity.
don't
And
I don't
I'm
want
sure you're the
pity.
same.
Yeah, I just want you to be yourself and like let me be me.
Yeah,
Like I'm not gonna ask for special treatment. And I mean, there might be some times where I'm like, hey, can you maybe help me do this? And I'll ask you for it. Like if you don't see me asking for it, then I'm good, man. Like it's just like
yeah,
like let it be. And like I think a lot of people don't understand that too. It's just like, just because you see somebody like, us in our chairs and everything, it doesn't mean that we're broken, man. It just means we're living a different lifestyle, bro. That's all it is.
Yeah, might have way more mentally strong being
Yeah, yeah.
compared to who I was before. Like, I mean, I think honestly, like I know, like I don't want anybody to ever have to go through what I'm going through.
Hmm.
But like when I look at my family and I look at my friends, like out of all, I feel like I might have been happening to me. Like I think scenario, like some of my family members, if this would have happened to them, I don't think they would have. When I see it, and then like glad, like you meet new friends who like they see you as this, that's all they know.
Hmm. Yeah.
And like you said, with the old friends, it's like, but luckily I've been blessed with my friends who like, they still treat me the same. They still joke around with me.
Hmm.
I like to horse around, play games. Like I have a sarcastic sense of humor. Like, like whenever I tell people, they're always like, oh, like, don't you miss like this, that, and the third? I'm like, man, walking's overrated. Like hands a little bit. I'm good. Like, I'm like, who need, I'm like walking. I'm like, this chair's nice. Like I get to park. What I'm saying? Like,
Walking's like the last thing on our mind nowadays. Like it's like, man,
yeah,
I just wish I can be able to have a normal poop schedule and like not have
I
to,
want to go hop.
yeah,
I want to go hop in the toilet. If I want to hop in the toilet when I want to.
yeah,
If I
exactly.
want to take a shit, I want to take a
Yeah.
shit. Now it's like not like crap. It's not time.
It's not routine time yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like I gotta get up and do, and that's what a lot of people don't understand too. Like when I try to explain it to friends and family, like, listen, I'm on a fucking routine every day. Like that's our life now. Like I have to get up and do certain things and move certain things different ways and like
Yeah.
and like it takes time. It doesn't just happen like that anymore. Like I even doing the simple task of like stretching a day, like like that's something that like people do before they go to the gym or something. I have to do it because I physically need my body to move.
You just need
Yeah.
because if you don't stretch, you're not gonna be able to transfer yourself.
Yeah, or everything gets super tight and it's just like,
Yeah,
the little things and like that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. It's just like, yes, like we might take it a little bit more time to do things, but like, it's still like it is, yeah, it gets done. It is what it is. And like, just because I take a little bit longer to do stuff, I can still do my things in the afternoon like I normally do. It's just, and it's so funny because like I was never that guy that ever showed up late. I was always the early guy. And now I'm over here like rolling up like 10 minutes late. I'm like, yo, sorry, I had to get my shoe on. It took a minute.
It's like these socks weren't agreeing with me today.
Yeah.
It was just one of those days.
It's just one of those days.
It's also and it's like, things are different for us, and like, obviously I'm going to touch on what just happened to me recently. I just went on a trip to Carolina. And, so for you guys who don't know, when we travel, we go on a plane, they take us, they transfer us out of our wheelchair into like this little aisle chair. Kind of, they put all these straps around you and it makes you look like, honestly, I feel like Hannibal Lecter. 100%. Yeah. Just missing the mouth mask.
I'm gonna bring the mask when I travel next time.
Yeah, no, 100%. I messed up. I should have brought that. And then like, they transfer you into the aisle chair and then they wheel you to the seat and then they lift you up, transfer you to the chair. These airline people, they don't really take into consideration how important our wheelchairs are, how much that we rely on them, that's our independence. And come out of the plane when we land there, and my chair, Tony, is to shit. Like my shocks are broken, my axles are both bent, my headrest, my water bottle, so now it's just kind of dangling. Drive is bent. Like my wheelchair, I have to remove certain pieces because I'm getting bruises now from sitting in certain spots of the chair. And I don't think they realize that these bruises, they could turn into pressure sores.
They don't realize that at all.
And so it just shows you that like feel like, we're normal and we're back, but like people like they see the chair and they just, whatever, this is just a wheelchair, let me throw it in the back.
Yeah.
Like no, like it clearly couldn't fit. I could, like, on the way home, luckily I had a nice guy, Hector, shout you out. He, he FaceTimed us when he got to the thing because the wheelchair didn't fit. So I just told him, hey, go to the recline mode, recline the back, slide it right on in, easy peasy.
Yeah.
So it's just, it just shows you like, sometimes you might not get the training properly or just people who are there just don't really give a shit. And that's unfortunate. And first, I'm not going to be the last.
Nope.
And, it's
horror stories from multiple people about traveling and like things happening to their chair. Like even one person that is a friend of mine from Empower also, like they would tell me about how they went, how there's like layovers. I don't know if you had to stop or anything like that, but
no, I don't.
So
I don't buy.
You went straight.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not ever gonna do a layover.
Yeah. Well, good thing because the person that I'm talking about, they had a layover, and instead of transferring his chair onto the new plane that he had to go to, they ended up forgetting forgetting to put it on the other airplane. So he arrives in his location and he's sitting there waiting for his wheelchair to come pick him up so he can, be more independent. And they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but we didn't get your wheelchair onto the plane, but we're doing it as quick as possible." And they're like, "Okay," and like to us, we're like, "Okay, so now what? Like I can't do anything. It's not like I can just get up and walk away. You're gonna try to put me in a chair that's very uncomfortable. Once again, that you can get pressure sores from, or like you just feel like it aches your body for time. And like people don't realize that, man. Like this, just like you said, this is our life. Like our wheelchairs are part of our body, and like you need to respect that. You know what I mean?
And these chairs are made specifically for each. Like we get measured for these chairs, like our bodies. Like things start getting messed up. That's how bad things can happen. Like God forbid, like these bruises. Like what if that turns oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. No, that I got.
So what were their response to you? Like when you said that everything was broken, did they say they were going to replace things, or what did they say?
Yeah. Well, I the guy who I spoke to was very nice. He like walked me to the claims. I had to put a claim in, insurance and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go to a wheelchair place out here to get evaluate, like kind of like taking a car to the shop to see like what the damage is. So they're gonna have to keep my chair, give me some loaner or something that's not made for me, and then I'm gonna be uncomfortable for who knows how long. So it's not just like a one-day thing where it's like, oh, they broke the chair, they can fix it. No, it's not that easy to do. Pull it out. I don't even know if that's a thing for wheelchairs.
Yeah.
But so we'll pray and
you know what aggravates me too. I don't know if this happens at your end of your neck of the woods actually, but over here, like in Rhode Island, when I try to get something replaced for my chair, like and I really need it, like you would expect them to be like just almost like not exactly like Amazon, but pretty quick on the parts that you need because it's your life. You need these things. But for me, literally, I remember waiting for like, I forgot what it was for my chair. I think it was like a brake or something like I needed. And the guy was like, "Yeah, all right, we'll get it to you in like, probably like 2 months." I go, 2 months? I go, dude, I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, dude, this is my everyday living. I need this thing. Like as soon as I was like, what do I have to do? Do I have to pay like extra for overnight? And he's like, no, that's not the case. We got to reach out to the thing. They got to check your insurance. They got to do blah, 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 blah. So like, if you're going through insurance, pretty much it's going to take forever for you to get your parts. If you pay cash, guess what? You'll have it the next day. And guess what? A lot of us don't have cash to fucking spend, especially when a part is like $2,000 for something that should be like $10. You know what I mean? That's kind of ridiculous. And that's something I need to touch upon too, because that aggravates the crap out of me. When I see people like, oh, this broke in my chair and I'm just waiting for the part. Come on. Like they shouldn't take that long to like, give you what you need. You know what I mean? It's not like we're asking for much.
Because he knows, Jim, we saw a lot of people with spinal cord injuries. He knows that, this is my livelihood. So he makes sure that I knock on wood, that's my boy.
I can tell you right now, you're lucky, my friend, because like I don't get that treatment here. Like,
oh no, I know.
It's horrible. Like I try to like reach out. So I feel like I have a good relationship with the guy that I work with that does stuff for my wheelchair, because like we're on a first name basis. We talk to each other and stuff, but I still feel like, dude, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, is there really that many clients in Rhode Island that you have to back order a lot of stuff? Like, come on. Like, I feel like a lot of stuff, they blow smoke up your ass, and I'm tired of it. You know what I mean? That's one thing that I'm very sick of with, the situation with the wheelchair. And it's aggravating, man.
It's basically just kind of the whole disabled community. We, I feel like, I don't want to say second class citizen, but I feel like, we're not like taken seriously, or our needs aren't taken as serious as what we need, like housing or, like caregiving. Like a lot of the caregivers are it's shortage right now all over everywhere. When I went to North Carolina, they were telling me some people having problems with getting aids the same way, just like in New York. And it's just like, and then like the housing situation is terrible. Like, like our lives, like it's hard to have like a full-time job where with salary benefits that we can afford a house. Luckily, I live with my father and my stepmom, but that can't be forever. So that's, the disabled world. It's tough, but I feel like you and I are good examples of just putting our hard hats on and just keep trucking forward. Like, we don't, obviously it bothers the crap out of us, but like,
we put on that smile on our face and we keep trucking forward, bro. That's
you can't dwell. Like, I've come to that, like my patience. I feel like I had no patience before my accident at all. But I've learned to be patient and to be, like sometimes like, I've learned that things aren't going to go my way. Like that's just the way it is. Like before, like, I would make things happen my way, or like I wouldn't stop until, but now like, it's like sometimes it's just out of my control and I just gotta roll with it. And I feel like, it's tough, but
I just wanted to touch upon this because it's still fresh in my brain. Remember how you're telling me?
Okay.
Remember how you're telling me how like in your accident that you were at a beach and you were kind of like surrounded by people. It's so funny because we were the complete opposite. I was in the middle of nowhere
Yeah, no, by
by
yourself.
myself, totally nobody around me, and like it
Yeah.
felt so different, dude. Like I felt like I literally felt like I was on this planet by myself. That's how crazy it was because it was late.
Yeah.
It was
It's
it's
dark,
literally like I was so far away from roads and like
and you
civilization.
don't know where, and you don't even know where you are because this is a new
Yeah.
route for you too. You're taking it, so you're
So
just
it was so
looking at the
it was so
stars, just
crazy. I was
like,
like,
hmm.
is this how it ends? Is this how it's gonna go? Like that's
This is how you're gonna
is
keep
this
going?
how we're gonna go right now? Like I don't understand what's going on. Like I was
Yeah.
definitely talking to myself when I was waiting for the ambulance to come. I'm sitting there like, okay, something's definitely wrong, and I'm sitting there like I said, talking to myself, going, is this really how it's gonna end right now? Because I got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff I want to do in my life right now, and
Yeah. Yeah. I feel
I
like
don't
everyone
want
does.
to I
Yeah.
don't want
Me,
to end it
like
right now.
myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's funny that
Yeah.
I could joke about that now, but it's so true. Like, like I still have those big dreams that I want to do. It's just I'm trying to take a different approach to doing them. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I feel like we also learn new ways to I guess not adapt, but like to overcome and like to
Yeah.
we evolve as humans as
Yeah.
in this situation because like just like you said, I look at things so differently now. Like like before, I would get frustrated over the little things, small things, and now,
Yeah.
dude, I don't let that me at all. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I'm the very pinnacle of being chill as you can be. You know what I mean? Like it takes
Yeah.
a lot to get me like really flustered nowadays. Like
Yeah.
don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, there are times where I just want to like
Yeah.
kill somebody,
Yeah.
but it does take a
Yeah.
lot.
I have my moment,
Yeah,
bro.
exactly. So it does take a lot to get me there, but yeah, I can't speak for you, but I definitely look at things so different now, and like my
Yeah.
eyes are definitely more open, and just like you said about like having people around you that like truly like having a good support system, I think is what makes us who we are. Yeah,
Game
and
changer.
it's big because like if I didn't have that support, I really probably would be in a dark space and like not
Yeah.
living the life that I get to live nowadays. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So for all those people that don't have that support, there is a help out there, and there's people that
Reach out to us.
yeah,
You know.
exactly. Like there's no reason for you to feel alone or anything like that. There's always somebody. Just like you said, we met our community is in power. Like it feels great to be there. Like I feel like I'm with my people and like they understand like what we go through on a daily
Yeah.
basis. You know what I mean? And
That magic,
yeah,
man.
it's that magic, and I'm excited because like I actually have a little thing coming up. I don't know when this episode is going to come up. It might actually be out by the time this episode comes up. But I'm going to be doing a little bit of an interview with one of the directors for my 5-year anniversary. We're going to have a one-on-one, and we're going to speak upon it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I want more people to know about the program, and I feel like it's like you said, it's a life changer, man. It makes you feel more like better about life, and it makes your independence go
Yeah.
up a lot more.
Yeah, we gotta get the ladies on here, man. We gotta get the three the triple
The
threat. We
triple
gotta get them
threat.
on the
Well,
show.
like I said,
Gotta get
I'm
them on.
talking on one of them, and I can't wait for that to
Yeah.
happen because we're kind of having like a one-on-one in my house. We're gonna talk because thankfully she lives in the same state as I do, so we're able to
Yeah.
talk and like and I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to like just talk upon like how awesome her program is and like how awesome I think they are for doing that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they did it out of like the kindness of the heart. This is like people that do like these are the people that make me feel better about my life. You know what I mean?
That's
And
it.
it's great to have those people out there.
Uh,
Yes, it is, man. Yes, it is. Well,
but
I'm glad we talked about our situations
dude, I
today.
feel like it felt kind of
Yeah.
nice. Felt like about it, and I haven't talked really about it in a while with just like a friend. You know,
Yeah.
like usually or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
You
It's
know,
nice to
like
talk to somebody that's in the same situation. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
asking me all these questions. There, thank God for therapy, but man, I'm just it's nice to just talk about it with a buddy because we're going through situations are different, but also similar at the same
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
So it's
And,
nice.
and it,
But yeah, no, I think that this is a fucking great fucking podcast episode right
I
here.
think it's a really great one, and like, and just like you said,
Yeah,
man, if anybody's listening to this and they feel down, don't ever feel discouraged. Reach
slide,
out,
hit us
yeah,
up,
like
hit us
and
up.
maybe we can connect you with people that can help you. You know what I mean? Like, cause that's
That's
that's what
it.
it's all about, man. It's love.
We both have resources that if we not might not be able to help you, we can point you in the right direction and get you some help and get you talking to the right people. Want to check out Empower?
Woo.
Easy peasy. Like like, we got
Easy
you.
peasy, lemon
But
squeezy.
this has been it's been an awesome episode of the podcast Sitting Tall
Yep.
with my boy
Chamberlain.
and me, Dylan.
You
And we'll
sexy man, you.
I just got my fresh haircut.
I know, you looking fresh.